Hi, I'm Leanna Chamish,
I'm Brian St. August.
and welcome to the Actors Hot Tub. This is where we two actors talk about what we love, acting and the acting business, in an intimate setting like we're just sitting in a hot tub chatting.
Yes, very comfortably.
Oh, yes. And what do you want to talk about today?
You know, Leanna, I think because acting is a business and people do get paid for doing it, that's what we look forward to doing. But there are times in our career when we might elect to not get paid. Have you ever worked for free?
Yes, I have, and I still do occasionally, so just
Okay.
occasionally. I'm very selective about it now, but I think working for free can be very beneficial to your career. I know people say, oh, they're cynical when someone says, do this for exposure, and then they say, yeah, well, can I buy a cup of coffee with exposure? You know, I understand the cynicism. However, for me, working for free early in my career offered me an opportunity to have speaking roles and principal roles in movies that I wouldn't otherwise have had. And those went onto Internet Movie Database, where, of course, you know, the rules are very stringent for what's approved on the IMDb. Those are real projects, real movies that are out there for purchase and streaming and whatever. And that built up my career when I was a newer actor. I won't say younger because I kind of started late too.
And their principal roles.
They
because
were
they don't list
principal
extra
roles.
roles on
That's true.
IMDb.
So that, I would say, that's a good way to beef up your resume with some free roles. And now that I'm more established and I do depend on acting for my living, I am more selective about it. And it just becomes an issue of how much time do I have and how much running around do I want to do. But if something really appeals to me to bulk out my resume, or just it seems like fun, I will do it. What about you?
Well, I think very similar to what you were saying earlier. I think that an actor really is in search of two major things. One, experience, and two, credits.
Yeah.
You've got to get experience. You've got to be able to get out there and apply your skills, show your craft, and at the same time, you want to be doing it in a way that you're actually getting some credit for the roles that you're doing. So I certainly remember early on, taking some roles that what we would call gratis, doing them for free, but where I thought, well, this is a good little role and it's got some meat to it. It's going to be fun. The longer that you go along in your career, the more demanding you have to be with yourself when making those kinds of choices.
Right, yeah, you know the old saying, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? So I don't know if we're good admitting that we sometimes do free work. However, you told me, and this is so beautiful, that you do free work for people whose values align with yours when you think you can do some good. Will you talk about the free work you've done recently?
Well, I'd be happy to. I feel very strongly about animal rights, and I look at that on a worldwide basis as well as a domestic basis. So whenever I get an opportunity to do a PSA, public service announcement, for TV or radio that has to do with animal rights, I will do that. And I'll do that for free if it's a low budget situation. Reason being, to me, it's more important that the message get out there than it is for me to get a few dollars here for doing it. Now, if somebody offers me, if I some cash, I'll do it. But seriously, it's going to be a matter of whether this is a significant budgeted project or if it's something that I think is just really important and very timely, such as the wild mustangs in the West, who are being offered up for slaughter, very much against what was supposed to have been done for them. So.
Very good point. Something I did recently for free was an audio drama. I've always loved radio drama and audio drama, so someone offered me the opportunity to have a principal role in an audio drama recently, and I did it to say that I did, and I love the challenge of acting without being seen and conveying things through voice, and I thought it was very good for me. It also provides a networking opportunity, as the people making it have offered me another opportunity, and it may lead to paid work in the future and getting to know a lot of people. So that's another good reason to do it. And speaking of getting to know people, I met Brian when he did a free role. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I used to read with my son and my daughter. My daughter is Jamie Kalman Chipko, a very good actor, and my son is Christopher Kalman, who's also a very good actor. They're both trained. I was a very shy person up until not too long ago, and
Hard to believe.
yeah, but I really was. And I remember I'd been reading with Jamie whenever she had a project that she was doing. I would read lines against her. And one day she called me from the set of a movie called Harvesters, which incidentally Leanna Chamish was working on. And she said, "Dad, let me talk to you about this real quick. We have a role for a sheriff. The guy that was going to do it quit. And the director would like to know if you'd like to take a shot at it." So for one of the few times in my life at that time, I said, "Yes, I'd like to try that." And so I did. And I played the role of Sheriff Jeff Lynch. It was a principal role in my very first movie. And I got to meet this lovely lady, Leanna Chamish.
And you were so cute in your cowboy boots.
Yes. Yes.
And I got paid a little bit for that movie, so that was very nice for me. I wanted to say that for me, I'm kind of a free agent right now as far as an actor. I don't have management or anybody depending on me for a slice of their living. So if I decide to do something for free, I just kind of decide if I have the time for it and how exhausting it might be, or do I have the clothing for it. But can you talk about how you actually have to consider your representation and how that affects them?
Absolutely. Well, it's very important for that. I'm managed by American Talent Management in New York. And with that relationship, although they give me a lot of advice and they help me to look for and be submitted for many different projects, both commercially and legitimate, they expect to receive their check when I book various projects. So for them, they're hoping that what I'm working on, I'm getting paid for. That's their expectation, and they'd have every right to say, if I'm not getting paid for it, "Brian, you have this much time, and you have, these many opportunities. If you're not getting paid for it, how are you helping yourself, and how are you helping us?" So that's the business of our business. So the kind of decisions that I make now about doing projects for gratis, they're fewer and far between. I will sometimes make them if the amount of time I have to invest is limited, if I can do it without having to travel very far, as Leanna had said, and if I can do it for something that I think is very important. Now, I will tell you that there have been occasions, not really recently, but certainly within the last couple of years, when I've worked with some producers and directors who I thought were excellent, and I thought their projects were excellent, but I also knew that they were underfunded. And where they, at the end of the project, offered me their compensation, I took it, and then I handed it back to them. I said, "Thank you for the honor of being able to help you with this." At the same time, though, I would send the commission from that to my management, so that although I was returning the gift to the producer, I was still paying my manager.
Oh,
It's just one of the things we do to pay it forward.
he's such a good guy. You're such a good guy. So, audience, let us know. Do you work for free? Would you work for free? What are the circumstances? Do you have any questions for the audience?
No, I think that's a really good question.
Yeah.
And would you work for free at the beginning, the middle, or the end of your career? Does it matter to you?
Oh, it might, yes. If you're just starting out, or maybe if you're just maybe kind of retired and just want some fun later on, that could be, yes. Oh, definitely. This is a great topic. Please leave your comments below. Subscribe to our channel. Write to us. We'd like to keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for joining us in the hot tub.